Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We want to welcome you to Breakfast with the Greenes. We're your host. I'm James Greene, and this is my lovely wife, Cynthia Greene. And we are the co-founders of Marriage Built to Last.
And we are your marriage and relationship visionary strategists, and we are America's favorite couple.
So we know, I just want to say happy holidays because we know after Thanksgiving, we're going into the Christmas season. We know it's not Christmas yet. We still got a couple weeks, but still, I would like to say happy holidays because this is that time of year that a lot of people look forward to.
It is. It really is. Trying to get this off the screen, but I can't. All right, no problem. So you guys, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year coming up, happy belated Thanksgiving, all those good things. You know, I used to be offended when people would say happy holidays because I thought that maybe they didn't celebrate Christmas, but that's not it because this time of year you've got Hanukkah, you've got Kwanzaa, and you have Christmas, and you have New Year's coming up. So I respect happy holidays.
But you know what? And I don't mean to be the downer part of it, but we know that there's people, and quite a lot of people, I haven't did this study on it, that do not like this time of year because this time of year, it focuses on family, which they may not have any. It focuses on loved ones. They may not have a loved one. It focuses on, I guess, the gifts and the spirit, and maybe they don't have that. So a lot of times people dread this type of year.
Right. So one of the things we're talking about this morning is that fact is that this is not a happy time for everybody. And I think that we all need to recognize that and respect that. But we also want to encourage you, if you are that person, on some things that you can do so that you can make this a happier holidays. Because I'm a firm believer that life is what you make it. And we've all been through some stuff. Lord have mercy in our lives. I mean, like, we've been through some stuff, you guys. You know, and I can't speak for anybody. You know, everybody deals with grief or sadness or a loss, whether it's marriage, whether it's a passing of a loved one, a breakup, whatever it is. Everybody deals with it differently. But we want to encourage you and give you some ideas and some things that you can do to make this a better holiday for yourself.
Right. And when we talk about to make this a better holiday, we're also talking about safety. Because we know this time of year, crime seems to be on the rise. Because the people that may not have try to take from the people that do have. You know, the people that's less fortunate, they try to prey on the ones that may have. You know, and with this time with the pandemic going on and you're wearing masks, you can't recognize who is, say, good and who is, say, evil, so to speak. So you don't know. So that's why this type of year, not only do we want you to be safe and be careful, we want you to have a prosperous holiday season.
Right. You know, we were watching the news last night and it was just, it was just, I'm just trying to change the light a little. I'm a little in the shadow. And they were talking about how crime is up and how people are just walking in the stores and just snatching stuff up.
And grabbing.
And can you imagine being in the store and somebody comes in there and does that and you're watching it? I mean, you don't know if somebody's going to approach them and they might pull out a weapon. I mean, it makes you almost not want to leave out the house.
And a lady, people are snatching bags from people that are coming out the stores. Because they feel if this is that time of year and you're going Christmas shopping, they feel, oh, if they're Christmas shopping, they may have money.
Yep.
So let me see what they buy and see how much money they have. So, you know, we just want you to be careful during this time of the year.
So, you guys, you know, I always want to know what y'all had for breakfast. So post in the feed, what did you eat for breakfast this morning? We had our traditional, our usual. If you
Bacon and eggs and grits.
There you go. I was going to tell them, if you know what our usual is, post it in the feed and we'll send you a gift, but James gave it away. So no gift on that one this morning. But you guys, we're all responsible for our happiness. Did y'all know that nobody is responsible for your happiness? Like, nobody is responsible for your happiness.
Right.
You are responsible for your happiness, your day-to-day life, what happens in your life, how you feel, what you do, what you don't do. You are responsible for that.
And that's something we always like to talk about looking inward, you know, looking to yourself, because we know that you may love this time of season, but the person you're with may not. Because maybe it doesn't matter to you, say, well, we don't have it, but it doesn't matter. I love this time of year. And they may thinking, well, we don't have it. I don't like this time of year because I maybe can't give. So we always say self-reflecting. Reflect on yourself because you have to make yourself, even in any type of relationship, you have to make yourself happy before you can try to make the other person happy. Do you know what I'm saying? Because it's about you. You know, you can't be confident in yourself, well, confident in your relationship if you're not confident in yourself first. Mm-hmm. So you always have to self-reflect. Reflect on what makes you happy. What are the things you're doing? And then incorporate those things into your marriage or into your relationship or even into your family. Because trust me, people pick up on how you're feeling. So if you're feeling down, they're going to feel down. But if you reflect on yourself and make yourself happy and find out what makes you happy and you're excited and you're happy, that makes not only your family, but the people around you happier.
So I just want to be clear. Your spouse is not responsible for your happiness.
That's right.
Not your mama, not your daddy,
That's
not
right.
your boyfriend or girlfriend, your kids. Your spouse, your mate, your significant other, the people around you are not responsible for your happiness. Right. So let's talk about some things that you can do to make sure that you have a happy holiday. If you are truly single and alone, I want you to really think about what can you do different this year if you want to and you don't want to be alone and you really want to enjoy the holidays. The first thing is that you can call up some friends and either invite some friends over or tell some friends, let's get together for the holidays. Maybe they're volunteered their place, or you guys can meet at a restaurant and get together and eat together and have some fun, play some board games, do something different this year for the holidays.
Right. And that's what I was going to say. That's number one. Maybe connect with some friends. And it's not about giving gifts. It's about just spending time with people that you love, people that affect you in a positive way. Because, you know, we know a lot of times if you're single and maybe you don't have nowhere to go or you don't have that family around you, you're a little down. But connect with someone. And that's always the key. If you connect with that somebody and they say, you know what, just come over for dinner. It ain't about exchanging gifts. You know, we'd like to have you over for dinner. Just breaking bread with someone. And that makes everyone around you and even yourself happier.
And then also, for those of you who do have family or, you know, a spouse or a significant other, what Jane and I used to do, or I used to initiate it. We used to invite a single person, especially a single mom with a child, over to our house for the holidays, especially if they did not have family in the area, they were new to the area. We would invite someone into our home to join the holiday dinner with our family.
Right.
So if you can, in a position to do that, think of somebody that you know who is single or
may not have family
around, maybe new to the area, may have recently lost their loved one and are estranged from their family. Right. Invite them over, you guys.
Right. And then when you think of
reach out and touch,
what the scripture said, when you were hungry, I fed you. When you were thirsty,
that's right,
I gave you a drink. Those are the type of things we're talking about, because you never know what a person is going through. So like Cynthia said, if you could think of a single person who may be new to the area, who maybe not have family around, you know, call them up, invite them over, because you never know how it will affect them. You never know what they're going through and how you could impact them in a positive way.
And y'all, James and I, we know of at least 2 or 3 people who lost their spouses recently.
Yep, during this.
So this is going to be, you know, not just their spouses, lost their spouses, lost, you know, other loved ones. And so this year, you know, when you lose people around the holidays, that year can be a little tough for you and for, you know, just the holidays. And so if that is you, you can do the same thing. Either find some family and friends to be around, invite some family and friends over, or you guys who know, you know, someone who lost someone, think about that person and invite them in.
Or what I would say is, say you call them up, you invite them, and they don't want to, because you don't know how they're feeling, you know what they're going through. Maybe make them a plate, make them a cake, and take it to them. You don't have to stay. All you have to do is make them something and take it to them and say, you know, I know you didn't want to come over, but I was thinking about you and I just wanted to drop this off. Drop off something to them.
That's so good. I was watching a Christmas movie, you guys, and there was this older lady who had lost her husband and her son in a tragic car accident. And every holiday, she would make people these big platters of cookies. and decorate it all nice and put a tape of Christmas card to it, cover it in like a saran wrap, and go deliver it to their house, all her neighbors. And so one year, the one girl started thinking, like, what is she doing for the holidays? Like, who's baking her cookies and who's doing something nice for her? So all the neighbors decided that on Christmas Day they were going to go over and bless her. So Christmas morning, she's sitting at Christmas Day, she's sitting at the table getting ready to eat, and she has a photo of her husband and son sitting on the table with her, like she's talking to them, and then she hears singing outside her door. She goes through her door and opens it, and all her neighbors are out there. They've got food, they've got presents, they've got cakes. They had all this Christmas decorations and things, and she just boo-hooed. Like, she was just astounded that they thought of her.
Right.
Just, I don't know how long her family had been passed on, but just think about all the lonely holidays that she'd been over there by herself. It's so good to think about others during this holiday.
And that's what we're saying. It's not about it's about giving. This holiday, the holiday season is all about giving, and it not necessarily giving gifts. All it is bringing joy to a person, bringing that Christmas cheer. If you think about that, what Cynthia just said, it wasn't about gifts. They just want make a person feel better.
They sure did.
So this time of year, when you think of this is the season of giving, it not necessarily mean giving a present or giving a gift. It could mean just giving your time. It could mean maybe going down to a shelter and assisting, helping out.
I love that.
Maybe feeding the homeless, just assisting, helping out. That's giving your time. There's a lot of times during this season where you could give a lot of things where not necessarily has to be a gift, like a present. You're going out buying something, or not necessarily has to mean money. It could be about giving your time. It could be about spreading some cheer, some joy, just visiting a person. You could go to, say, what are them things? I wouldn't say an old folks home, but assisted living home.
Yes.
And spend some time with the elderly, senior living. Spending time with elderly because maybe, they don't have family around anymore and they're in that assisted living by themselves. So maybe just go and spend some time with them. Just go and say hi.
Y'all know what? That's so true. I mean, we really planned to talk about that this morning, but it's so true, because when my kids were little, you know what I used to do during the holiday? I would let them go through their toys and their clothes and the things that they weren't playing with anymore, weren't using anymore, the clothes that were too small for them. I would have them go through their own toys and bag them up. And we would go to the shelter near us, and I would let them give their things away. We used to have an angel tree at work. And I would choose a child that was close to each of my children's age. I had 2 kids at the time. And I would take them to the store and let them purchase a gift for that child. Because, they knew what kids their age like more than I did. So I choose a girl for my daughter and a boy for my son. And so there's so many things that we can do to bring holiday cheer and to help someone during the holidays. I also have gone with my church and helped feed the homeless in the shelter. There's so many things that we've done. But when you're feeling lonely and you're by yourself during the holidays, doing something for someone else does work. It helps. It works. It can make you feel better. It can take you out of that funk, out of that.
And also, not to cut you off, baby, but also, like you're saying, it makes you feel better, but it allows you not to be alone. It allows you to spend some time with others. Whether you're assisting, whether you're feeding them, whether you're visiting them, whatever the case may be, it allows you not to be alone.
So let's shift a little bit. What do you like to do for fun during the holidays? Like, what do you do for fun? Like, type it in there in the chat. We want to know, what do you like to do for fun during the holidays? Okay. So, honey, what do you like to do for fun during the holidays?
Eat.
Okay, that's fun.
And usually, just like Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving, you eat and watch football. But Christmas, usually eat and watch basketball, because usually the NBA comes on Christmas time. Right.
And we get up in the morning, we watch the parade.
Right. We do watch
the Macy's Christmas parade. So, but what I like to do for fun, I really do like to get together with my family, and I love board games. So, normally I get together with my family, extended family, and we play board games. Or even if it's just James and I and our daughter here, we'll play board games. They know that I love to do it. So holidays they got to play with me. And I have a friend.
Wait. Let me just say, all that we're talking about, making someone else happy. Let's say I'm not a board game person. I don't like to play board games, but I do it. And why do I do it? Because I know it makes my wife happy. And this is exactly what we're talking about. You may do things to make others happy. This is that time of year to make others happy. I'm not a board game person, and I don't necessarily feel board games make me happy, but I do it because I know it makes her happy.
Yes.
So it's about, like we said, maybe doing things for others.
Right. So, and then, I have a friend who right after Christmas and right before New Year's, she always have a game night, and we go to her house. And this year we have another friend who's having a couples game night. So I am so looking forward to that. It's going to be so much fun. But what other kind of fun things do you like to do? So we're going to give you some suggestions. Like, another thing that I like to do that's fun, I always do a coffee, tea, and hot chocolate bar. So I call it my hot bar, right? Well, I actually call it my hot chocolate bar, but I have tea and coffee on the hot chocolate bar. So I love to get my tray out and put all my hot chocolate on there, different types of tea, my instant coffee packs, and all these things that you can put in your coffee, your tea, or your hot chocolate, from marshmallows to chocolate pieces to chocolate syrup. So we're going to my mom's this year, and I'm taking all my hot chocolate bar stuff with me. Yes, I did it a couple of years ago when we went. So yes, I am, because that's part of my Christmas tradition now. So that's the other thing we're talking about.
Traditions.
Family traditions. Y'all, you gotta have some family traditions. Like, you gotta have, you want your kids and your spouse and yourself to look back over the years of all the things that you did during the holidays, and you can build on it. Like, if you haven't established any family tradition, it's never too late. So start thinking this year of some family traditions that you can do. Another family tradition I have that I did not do for Thanksgiving because we had too many cakes and pies in the house is make blueberry muffins for breakfast. And my family looks forward to that. So Thanksgiving morning, James was looking for the blueberry muffins. And I'm like, honey, a neighbor brought us a cake. Oh my gosh. And I had made all these pies. And it just would have been too much to also have the blueberry muffins.
And let's be honest about the blueberry muffins. We're going to talk burned blueberry muffins.
Oh, no, not true.
And that's only because that when Cynthia's making the blueberry muffins, she's also preparing Thanksgiving dinner, and she has a lot going on. Let's be honest, don't you?
Yes, but she's
trying to prepare everything.
I burned them once or twice
No. And you know what? And now we look forward to them being burned. It's like a tradition. Like, how come you didn't burn them?
And last year they were like, "Oh, they're not
burned." And we were looking forward to it because that's what we're used to, and that became a tradition. And that's just a funny tradition that we have. Another one is usually we open one gift.
Oh yeah.
On Christmas Eve, before Christmas. That, I think it's that night we usually do.
Yes.
We usually open one gift, and that's a tradition we started.
I'm looking forward to that this year.
So but we're going out of town because, again, we're going to Cynthia's mother's in North Carolina, and she lives alone. So here we are trying to spread some joy, trying to spread some cheer, thinking of someone who may be alone and just be around them to make them feel better. And since her mother lives alone, that's something we decided to do because as her family, we were talking about all getting together, but we couldn't decide. So we decided, look, my mother's by herself. We are going down there. I even brought it up. Mama, we're coming down there to visit you.
Yes. And so because we're going to our mother's and we won't be home for Christmas Eve, what we normally do if we travel for the holidays, we open up our one gift before we leave. Because I really don't want to travel down the highway with a bunch of presents anyway. So we are probably...
Especially if we're traveling with a hot chocolate bar.
Yeah. So we'll probably open most of our gifts before we leave and take one gift to get to each other on Christmas morning. So I'm excited about that. Woohoo!
So this is what we're talking about. We're talking about being safe. We're talking about spreading some cheer, some joy. We're talking about Christmas traditions. Now let's flip it a little bit. Okay. We know that some people, how do I put it? Where you go to families and you don't like being around that family.
Oh yeah.
You're frustrated. Let's talk about
family conflict.
Yeah, family conflict or family frustration. What do you do?
Oh my goodness gracious. I remember us kind of talking about this last year. And
because there's conflict.
Yeah, there is conflict. And some of us don't get along with our family, and we really want to.
Right. And what that does is create separation where, say, if you're a married couple that maybe, say, for example, the husband doesn't like to be around the wife's family, or the wife doesn't like to be around the husband's family, but then, you know, we're going to my family. You say, I don't want to go there. You know, I don't like being around them, whatever the case may be. How do you deal with that? That's what we're going to talk about. How do you deal with it when you're frustrated and it causes division or conflict when you don't want to be around, say, your spouse's or your mate's family?
Well, I am going to say this one thing. We were counseling a couple, and the family didn't want the wife around. So the husband would go to things without her,
right,
and the children.
Right. He would go to his families without her.
And I personally believe, and I believe that if you were, you know, and doing our research and trying to find, you know, we always try to not just give our opinion, but give some facts on how things should work and work best. That if the family is not accepting of your wife, especially you've been married 10, 15, 20 years, and this may be all of a sudden, or may have been going on over the years, I would not leave my spouse at home and go spend time with my family. If it's a matter of my spouse doesn't want to go, like not Christmas Day, because I'm not going to spend Christmas apart from my spouse, but just say it's a family child's birthday party. I might go to that child's birthday party to support the child, take a gift, but I'm not going to stay and have fun if my husband isn't welcome. But if my husband doesn't want to go, that's a different story.
And we do feel that if, say, you don't want to go because his or her family don't accept you, we always feel that, well, if you can't accept them, then you can't accept me there without my spouse, or without my mate.
So is anybody watching today bold enough to admit that you have family issues during the holidays? If your family is good to go, put a 1, which means, yes, we're good. If it's a little bit of conflict there, put a 2, a division, put a 2. But I do believe that, so we're going to give you a solution on how to solve this, but you got to be brave. You got to be bold. You got to take a stand.
Right.
And sometimes it's time to stand up to your family, walk into the house with your mate and say, this is my spouse. I love them. We are one. If you can't love him, you don't love me. Because we come together as a package deal.
And that's
I guarantee you. Somebody might say something smart, but ain't nobody going to probably throw you out, and they're going to come to a whole different understanding of you and your marriage.
And that's exactly what I was going to say. I was going to say, you could go anyway, and if one of the family members says something to you, then your spouse can check them. That's how I was going to put it. They need to be checked. And Cynthia said it right. Look, we're one. You don't want them there, then obviously you don't want me here.
Right.
So you need to check them at the door if someone says something. If they just treat them like outsider or whatever, it doesn't matter. You're together. You're there with your spouse, or you're there with your mate. It doesn't matter what the rest of them say.
And that's what I was going to say too. Stay close by your spouse.
That's right.
Like if you do go to your family
that's
events,
the person, your protector. That's the person who has your back.
Don't leave them by themselves. Stay close to them, hold their hand, rub their back, give them a smooch, just love on them so that the family can see the love between the two of you and know that you are connected and you're not going nowhere without your mate.
And I would say if someone says something, say wrong or out of the ordinary, don't address it right there in front of everybody. Tell your spouse, tell your mate, and let them address it because that's their family. Let them address, because if you address it, it may turn into a big blow up. Oh my
gosh, yes.
So let them address it
later.
And if that's the case, maybe you both can leave.
But if it's something
remove yourself from the situation.
Or if it's something where you can politely say, that's not appropriate, I'm not going to address that, or I'm not going to discuss that today. Or you can say things like, you know what, I'm going to keep today on a positive note. I'm not going to be drawn into anything negative. I'm going to keep the holiday cheer. Like you can talk to yourself and you can say these things out loud to anybody who tries to draw you into negativity.
A lot of times, if you go anyway and the family sees that you're one, they'll start accepting that fact and like, okay, maybe we were wrong. Maybe we need to accept them too.
Because y'all, a lot of times when there is division in the family and they're trying to separate you and your spouse or don't like one of you, when you take a stand and you don't allow it,
right.
Trust me, that situation is going to get better. It's going to change. It's going to grow. It's going to turn around. But when you just allow your family to control the situation, then you have no control. There's nothing that you can do until you take a stand and do something different. And we're telling you, this is what you can do different.
And like Cindy said, if you check them at the door, then they'll know, oh, they're not going to come over unless they both come over together. And they'll start accepting that fact. Like, okay, we just have to accept both of them because they're as one now.
Right. And there have been times when family members, we have a friend, and the family member wasn't accepting of their spouse, and they were going to stuff without their spouse. But then they decided, you know what? I am not going to allow my mother to separate us anymore. I'm just not going to go. Right. And you know what? I saw movies with something similar to that too. So they stopped going around, and the mother started was disappointed. It was sad because the son wasn't coming around, because you know how some mamas like to control their sons. And so eventually she called him up and said, you know, you and Diane, you and so-and-so, whatever the name may be, y'all come over for the holidays. And he was shocked that the mother invited the both of them.
Because you have to remember that when you start separating or distancing yourself from your family because the way they treat your spouse, your family will realize, wow, maybe we've been wrong. You know, maybe we have to accept them. If we want to see our relative, we have to accept our relative's spouse.
Right. And it may take a while for them to realize that.
But they will.
Don't get discouraged.
That's right.
You stand by, you stand your ground.
Why?
On your decision.
Because this is that type of year for giving, for joy. You know, so they're going to realize, wow, if we want joy, we have to give joy. And that's what we always talk about. If you want joy, sometimes you have to give joy in order to get joy back. You know, however that means what you need to do. And we talked about some things earlier, what you could do. So if you give joy, a lot of times you get joy back. Sometimes it's a joy just to give, to see others joyous. You know what I'm saying? You know, if you see others joyful and others joyous and having a great time, sometimes it makes you feel better.
That's right. And you guys, we do want to make sure that we're talking about safety here too, right? So because of COVID, if you can't go around family and friends during this holiday,
what can you do?
Do what we're doing now.
There you go.
Get your family and friends on virtual. Whether you do it for breakfast, lunch, dinner, you know, text some of your friends or text some of your family and say, let's do a Zoom and eat breakfast together. My family does it all the time.
Right. And then when you think of it, when COVID first started, right? That's when it seems like the world of virtual materialized more than ever. You know, even at your job, if jobs are working from home, how do you have a meeting? You have a Zoom meeting. You meet on Teams, whatever the platform may be. That's how you meet. The same with birthdays. You can't attend a birthday party, so what do? You have a virtual birthday party.
Like I did.
You meet online. So that's the same way with getting together with your family. If you can't be with your family, what do? Have a Zoom meeting. Meet them virtually. It's the same anywhere nowadays. Now that we're in this time of the pandemic, in these times of virtual, and I mean, there's a lot of virtual going on. There's nothing wrong with seeing your family virtual. At least you're seeing them. At least they're knowing you're okay. They're knowing you're well. And you can let them know that I love you. You can let them know, you know, I'm glad to see you. You may be seeing them over these live optic lines, but still, you're glad to see them, period. Maybe you can't be there, but how much joy is it to even just see them? If you haven't seen someone in months, in a year, how good is it to see them, even if it's virtual, just to see their face? That's
so true, because you guys, I just had a virtual birthday party on my birthday on this past Monday. Yay, happy birthday me, right? But I did a virtual birthday party, and y'all, it was the best. I had a DJ. We played old school music. We did Name That Tune. But the thing that I loved about it, I saw family and friends that I had not seen in years. Cousins, college roommates, you know, friends that where I used to live in another state, another city. Oh my, it was just
and how did that make you feel?
It made me feel blessed. Joy. It made me feel honored, you know, and they had a chance to roast me, and it was so funny because some people were like, I don't have anything negative to say.
And I thought it was good because it made them feel good. They felt, you know, they texted Cynthia and said, you know, I was so glad I joined. It was good seeing you. It made them feel joyous. So that's something we could talk about, where if, say, for example, like you live in a city and you have no family or friends there, there's nothing wrong with connecting with your family in another state via Zoom,
That's
via
right.
over the live optics lines, via seeing them virtually. That's the thing you can do. We talked about some of the other things, maybe going over with some friends, invite some friends over, doing something, you know, at the homeless shelter, feeding the homeless, or whatever the case may be. But you can still see your family virtually.
That's so true. That is so true, you guys. So, we just wanted to jump on today, give you some tips so that you can have a really special
Right.
holiday.
And that's what we wanted about. We wanted to help you be joyous this time of year. We want to help you even maybe spread some joy. Maybe do some things. Step out of your comfort zone. Step out the box. Maybe do some things you haven't done, like connect with family or friends virtually, or maybe go and spread joy to someone else. You know, just doing some things that maybe you haven't done this time of year before, or maybe you haven't done, you know, now because of the pandemic, and you maybe not trust going out or trust being around a lot of people.
And if you can't have someone over and you can't go to someone's house, reach out and touch over the phone.
That's right.
You know, I was reading an article yesterday, and no, actually, I get these motivational texts from someone that I follow, and it was saying, pick up the phone and just call someone, and it will probably not only make their day, it'll make your day. So this holiday season, pick up the phone and call someone that you haven't talked to in a really long time, whether it's a family, a friend, an old neighbor, an older relative. You know, pick up the phone and call them just to say hi and wish them a happy holiday. And you never know how that may
That's
bless
right.
their heart and yours. We wanted to give you some fun tips for traditions and holidays, some things that you can do, some family tips and ideas to get along with everybody this year, or to turn things around in your family. God, we are believing that this is the year that God will turn things around in your family situation. No more drama.
Or in your relationship.
Or in your relationship. Yes. This is the year you and your spouse are going to, you know, really connect.
Right. And be on the same page as far as what to do this holiday season. As we know, a lot of couples have differences or difference of opinions when it comes to the holiday season.
Right.
So make a sacrifice. Do something that each other wants to do to bring you closer together.
All right, you guys. So keep on posting. When you watch the replay, put hashtag replay. Let us know what some of your family traditions are or what you're looking forward to this holiday season. We read every message. We want to connect with you. Continue to follow us. You guys, we're getting ready for the new year. We hope that you are ready. We're having our annual Power Couple Vision and Goals party. You don't want to miss it. Y'all, this is just a time to just reflect about all that happened in 2021 and all that you're looking forward to in 2022. And we're going to help you create some goals to make your 2022 the best year ever, and some plans on how to accomplish those things.
And this is the time to start planning for 2022. This is the time to set goals, to set the things in motion that you want to accomplish all of next year. Don't you want 2022 to be the best year ever? It starts right now. It starts today.
So just go to Marriage Built to Last LLC.eventbrite.com. I'll type that in the chat. Marriage Built to Last LLC.eventbrite.com and get registered, or just go straight to
and when you do Marriage Built to Last, it's the number 2.
Yes. Or just go straight to Eventbrite and type in Power Couple Vision and Goals Party. And
right, because you have to have a vision. You have to have a vision for your family, a vision for your marriage, a vision for your relationship. You have to have a vision on where you're going and what you're doing and what you want to accomplish when next year comes.
Yes, and we're going to help you with that. And we have fun at our vision board parties because we play music, we play a couple of little games, we share, you share, we just enjoy ourselves and have a good time. So make sure that you join us. It's going to start in January. We're not doing any December sessions this year, but normally we will do some in December, but we're not going to do that this year. So look for that on our pages. It's on all of our pages where you can register, and we'll see you in the new year. Well, we'll see you Christmas Day too. We're going to give a couple shout outs on Christmas Day. God bless you. Enjoy those holidays. Start having some fun right now. Start thinking of some traditions that you want to create and start in your family.
Create some new traditions.
So create some new traditions, some new
Set
memories.
a new tone.
Start reaching out to some family members or friends that you are estranged from, that you want to reconnect with. Rebuild this holiday season. All right. God bless you. We love you. Have a great rest of the Saturday afternoon.
And we always want you to remember, if you build it, it will last. And we will see you next time.